Hey guys, today I'll be showing you how to backup files with AhsayACB using macOS. So, if you want to learn how to backup your files, folders, or photos and videos, docs, PDF files, or whatever file you want on macOS, then keep watching. To start with, click the AhsayACB icon from the dock, or locate AhsayACB from Applications by opening Finder, then select Applications, and double-click on the AhsayACB icon. When AhsayACB is launched for the first time after being installed, two options are shown: Free Trial and Login. As we already have a login account, click Login. Once you're redirected to the login page of AhsayACB, enter your login credentials to access your account. Then click OK. As you can see, you're now on the home screen of AhsayACB. But before being able to do a backup job, you'll need to create a backup set first. So click on Backup Sets. Then click the plus sign. You can rename your backup set or you can use the default name provided. Then click Next. Now it's time to select folders or files you aim to backup. Documents is selected by default. If you want to select specific files and/or folders for this backup set, you can unselect this. Then click I would like to choose the files to back up. The Advanced Backup Source window will open. Here, you'll see local destinations for you to select specific files and/or folders you want. Once you collapse any of the available locations, you'll see the main folders as well as the subfolders. So you have to tick off the Show Files checkbox so files will appear. When you click on a folder, you'll see all of its content, which means you can now select specific files and/or subfolders for this backup set. In my case, I'm selecting the main folder Ahsay.test. This automatically selects all the files in it, including photos, videos, Excel file, PDF files, audio files, etc. for backup. This also includes all the subfolders and the files within these subfolders. Unless you want to exclude some, you're free to unselect whatever file or folder you want. Click OK. Then click Next. Click the switch button to turn on Scheduled Backup. A scheduled backup will automatically back up the files and folders you have selected based on the frequency and time you set it on. This is very important as a regular scheduled backup will minimize data loss, ensuring you can always recover the most updated version of your files. Click on the plus sign to create a new backup schedule. You can use the default schedule name, but for this example, I will use Daily Backup at 1800. Next, choose from the different types of backup schedules such as daily, weekly, monthly, or custom. For this example, we will select a daily backup to run at 1800 hours. This setting is considered as the normal backup schedule, setting a certain time as to when the backup job will run. Now, if you change when the backup will start from at to every, this is called periodic backup schedule. Periodic backup schedule will automatically back up your data every 1 minute up to every 12 hours depending on the interval you will select. The smaller the backup interval, the more frequent the backup job is. This ensures that the changes made are captured regularly, which allows greater flexibility in recovery to a point in time. However, backups running at very regular intervals may have a performance impact on a PC or notebook. The increased frequency of backups may result in an increase in overall storage quota usage. Meanwhile, there are two options to choose from when you want the backup job to stop. This feature only works when you set a normal backup schedule. So, let's switch this back from every to at. The default setting is until full backup completed, which means the backup job will only stop running when all selected files or folders or any subsequent changes are completely backed up regardless of how long it takes. The other option will stop the backup job after a certain number from 1 to 24 hours, even if the backup of your files or folder is not yet complete. For this example, we will use the default setting until full backup completed to ensure that all the latest changes to our files and folders are fully backed up every day. For the run retention policy after backup, the best practice is to have it enabled. With this setting turned on, AhsayACB will permanently and immediately delete files and folders in the retention area that have exceeded the retention period to better manage the backup storage quota after each backup job. We will be talking more about retention policy later on. Click OK to continue, then click Next. For the destination, the default backup mode is sequential as we're only using one storage destination, which is Ahsay Drive. So, we will stick with the default setting. However, if we were to use multiple storage destinations, for example, both Ahsay Drive and local mapped removable, it is recommended to switch your backup mode to concurrent. To allow AhsayACB to back up your data to both destinations simultaneously, this approach helps reduce the overall backup time, which minimizes any performance impact to the machine. Click the plus sign to add a storage destination. Ahsay Drive is already selected. As I have mentioned that we're using this default storage destination, we'll just leave it on default. Click OK, then click Next to continue. Now for encryption, we will use the default setting, which is the most secure option as it uses AES 256-bit encryption technology and a randomly generated encryption key made up of 44 alphanumeric characters. Take note, once you have selected the encryption settings and your backup set is created, it cannot be changed afterwards. If you need to change the encryption settings, then a new backup set must be created. Your data will have to be backed up again from scratch. Click Next to continue. It is very important to keep a copy of your encryption key before clicking Confirm. If you forget or lose your encryption key, you will lose the ability to access and restore your backup data. Click Confirm to continue. When the backup set is successfully created, you will see this confirmation page. You now have the option to back up your files right away by clicking Backup Now, or wait for the scheduled backup to start. Let's close this window and go back to the backup sets page. Select the backup set that you have just created. We're going to have a quick look at some of the other important settings on our file backup set, such as temporary directory and retention policy. Click Others, and you'll see the retention policy and temporary directory. Every time AhsayACB runs a backup job, any previously backed up files or folders that are subsequently modified or deleted on Mac is moved to the retention area where they can still be restored. The retention policy determines how long these deleted or modified files or folders are stored in the retention area before they are permanently removed. There is only one retention policy for AhsayACB. Simple, where the retained files are removed after a specified number of days or backup jobs. The default retention policy setting is 7 days. Increasing the duration of your retention policy increases the likelihood of recovering older versions of deleted or modified files or folders. The trade-off is increased storage usage and costs. For this example, we will be using the default setting. As for the temporary directory, you can see that the default location is in a local destination. This is the best practice, as using a network drive could affect the backup and restore performance. The remove temporary files after backup is enabled by default in order to keep the temporary drive clear. Now that you have learned a bit more about the other important backup settings and how to adjust them based on your preferences, it's time to back up your files. As there were no changes made for this backup set, let's close this window by clicking on Cancel. From the AhsayACB home screen, select Backup. Then click the backup set that you have just created. Since this is the first backup job, no data exists in the retention area, so there's no need to enable Run Retention Policy after backup. However, you should not forget to enable it in future backups. Click Backup to continue. Once done, you'll see under the Load tab that the backup has been completed successfully. And that's how you create a file backup with AhsayACB using macOS. With Ahsay, your data is fully protected, armed with the latest technology like immutable backups, where your backup data will never be encrypted, deleted, or modified for total protection against hackers and ransomware. Strong AES 256-bit data encryption ensures your data is encrypted during transit and when your data is stored to prevent anyone from reading your data without your permission. Two-factor authentication to prevent anyone from accessing your data without your permission. Multi-destination backups to store your backup data in more than one storage destination and across many geographical regions for maximum protection against natural disasters, fire, or conflicts. And data deduplication, a feature that removes duplicate copies of data that helps you save up to 90% of your storage space, with significant savings on your storage costs as well as much faster backups. That's why you should choose Ahsay. Your data is safe with us.